have to stay tuned on Smart 24 TV, and of course we shall be driving that business for you. We are the #1 business channel in Africa, and definitely give you first-hand information regarding business around the continent and in particular within the region. Thank you for deciding to tune into financial markets, and of course we're going to look at them in detail. I welcome you if you're coming here for the first time. Definitely we are very honored to have you. You can catch the show here on Smart 24 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. every single weekday, and you will be able to learn more about these markets. You will be able to know and hear from the experts and hear from the key players, from the regulators, and so many other people within these markets. And of course, this show, definitely we can also catch it now on GoTV channel 394, channel 372, that is DSTV, and on GoTV at channel 394. You can also catch us on our YouTube live stream, that is at Smart 24 TV Live, and you can leave a comment in the comment section. You can also give us a question or a concern that you may have via our Twitter handle at Smart 24 TV, and you can follow as well. Now, of course, we are moving into the digital age, and you know that exactly how we communicate, even in the financial markets world, has changed with time. We no longer have, for example, the trading we used to have on the trading floor at the Uganda Securities Exchange. So technologically, there's many advancements that are happening in the business world, and you might need definitely to stay up to speed to that particular technology that is coming up. And of course, today we're going to look at the stock market in detail, how it played out yesterday. Well, it doesn't look so good on the end of especially the local companies, but still we have hope that definitely the markets will do better. Our brothers and sisters, of course, from Kenya, yesterday the winner of the general election that was conducted about 5 days ago was declared, and that is Mr. Ruto William, and he's now the current president of the current president-elect of the nation of Kenya. And of course, he faces a lot ahead of him, definitely because he doesn't have a majority in parliament, and definitely all these issues politically could affect him. But looking at the side of the markets in business, Mr. Uhuru during his term did his best, and of course there were so many other promises that were made, of course not fulfilled, but now it's up to Mr. Ruto to either keep them going or to actually come up with new ones and set even the standards higher. Notably to see during Uhuru's term, in terms of financial markets, we see that the markets grew in terms of turnover, in terms of local participation, but not to the extent probably we would expect the markets to grow as well. The markets, especially after COVID-19 and after several other disruptions that happened on the market, you're looking at inflation, and you're looking at companies also having a problem of very many foreign investors and so many other problems that that need to be addressed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, that are definitely up to now Mr. President Ruto, elect of the Kenyan nation. the markets yesterday that actually had some movement within the market. So we didn't have any other gainers or any other movers on the market. On the losing side, however, 7 or so losers. We had Stanbic Bank come out at the bottom of of course, the losing table, and Stanbic Bank came out with a price depreciation of 5.84% at exactly 20 shillings, and that is the closing price for Stanbic Bank Uganda yesterday at the Uganda Securities Exchange. And then down to Kenya Airways, also came out as a loser at a 1.13% closing the markets. And then Nation Media Group also came out as a loser at a 1.13% drop as well. Jubilee Holdings Limited at 1.13% drop also was a loser. And Stanbic Bank Uganda, first of all, ended the day with the 20 shillings. If you remember yesterday, Stanbic was among the gainers on the market, closing the day with a price of over 21 shillings. But yesterday he came out as a loser, losing to 20 shillings. And Kenya Airways, after dropping 1.13% off their price valuation, closed the day with 120.99 Ugandan shillings. Nation Media Group at 601.79 Ugandan shillings left, of course, the market after losing 1.13% of their price valuation there. And then Jubilee Holdings Limited, after shedding off 1.13% as well, came out with the bottom price of 7,818.53 Ugandan shillings. East African Breweries Limited at 4,975.43 also came out as losers, and losing up to by 1.13%. Equity Bank Limited as well lost by 1.13% down to 1,682.17. As you can see on the losing side, many of these companies are cross-listed. You can see only Stanbic Bank Uganda is the local company that actually lost on the stock market yesterday. And definitely most of these cross-listed companies, like I said, you don't have usually the usual factors of demand and supply affecting how these companies, of course, perform on the stock market. You have so many other factors. Since they're cross-listed, things could happen back in Nairobi, and maybe after a general election, and there's a movement in the price of this counter in Nairobi. Definitely that has influence on its price here in Uganda, on the Uganda Securities Exchange. And these, of course, companies, you can invest back here at home, or you can invest on the local company, the local domestic exchange. And usually people prefer the latter because definitely you will see more activity on this counter back in at their domestic exchange, and probably you might also find more convenience buying stock there as well. But for starters, if you were wondering where and how you can start your journey of investment, worry not, because we are here as Financial Markets to give you a chance to learn more and be able to get started. Now, first of all, the financial markets are very diverse markets. They don't have one single way of doing things. And they are liable to technology advancements, and definitely they change with time. And the way businesses run really depends on the current technology and also how fast the markets are growing within a particular region or country. Now, here in Uganda, we only have two sets of financial markets, basically, that are formally run here in Uganda. We have the stock market, or the equity market, or the shares market, which we are looking at the moment, and which we look at daily here on the show in a very deep analysis. Now, this market offers you a chance to be a part owner within a firm or a company that is listed on what we call an exchange. And this exchange is what the government mandates to be able to trade these shares on behalf of the companies and on behalf of investors. It's a common market where you find all the securities that may be needed by either the investors or the companies looking for capital, that is the listed companies. Now, this market, as we all know, definitely determines how much the company is able to get into the public, how much shares can the public be able to attain, how many people can be able to attain these shares, which company gets listed and which company doesn't. The exchange is mandated to do just that work. And so with this kind of course, mandate or responsibility, the exchange is a very key part of the financial markets. And the data we give you here on the show definitely is courtesy of this exchange, that is Uganda Securities Exchange, which gives you what actually happens on the stock market on a daily basis based on data from this company. It's a company limited by guarantee and without share capital yet. It hasn't demutualized like other exchanges, like for example Nairobi, which demutualized back in 2014 and was listed on its own exchange. But at the moment we are seeing growth within the exchange. More counters are coming on board, the latest being MTN Uganda, which is the youngest company to be youngest company on the exchange, so to say. That is after its listing in December, on the 6th of December 2021. And they're hoping, of course, for more companies to come on board and be able to enjoy this market. Just for you to know, if you're a business owner out there and you love what you're seeing on the stock market, you would love to be like MTN, you would love to be like Stanbic, Umeme, and the other listed companies. It's a very simple thing. First of all, you need to understand the markets, that we have market segments, and these market segments are divisions depending on what companies, what criteria, what category of company you are, and how much you're making, how much profits you're making, what is your size as a company, and so on. So we have the main board. This is called also the main investment market segment. Main investment market segment. That is the MEMS in brief. And this main market segment is where we have the big companies listing. That is large companies like MTN. Of course, depending, of course, on the laws and the rules, you will see that you have to have a minimum, maybe profit, maybe a minimum revenue, a minimum so and so. But these are all just scrutinies for you to know where you lie as a company. And this market is open to all companies that wish to be listed on the exchange, after, of course, fulfilling the criteria for listing, including good governance, social corporate responsibility, including your good books of accounts, at least for the past 3 years. You must have a very good record of how you have been doing business within the past 3 years. You must have proof of ownership and so many other things that probably will know more definitely with time, but are given by the exchange as well. So when you approach the exchange and you would want to list your company, yes, this is one of the options. If it's a big company, you have a big revenue, definitely with thresholds, and also with very good books of accounts, as well as good corporate governance, social corporate responsibility, and so on. Definitely this will be one of the criteria they will use to get you onto the main board or the main investment market segment. Now, that is one segment that we are looking at. We also have the alternative investment market segment, or the AIMS. And when we look at the alternative, we also look at what we call the, you're looking at the GAMES, that is the growth enterprise market segment. The GAMES is also designed in a way as an alternative market segment. Now, the GEMS, or the Growth Enterprise Market Segment, just like the name goes, is for the growing enterprises. It's for the small and medium enterprises that also would want to list on the exchange. They have their own smaller market onto which they hope. And of course, this market is for basically the growing businesses, young businesses that are still promising, with very good books of accounts, with very good governance. And of course, the goal is to have these companies grow and get listed onto the main board or the main investment market segment. Now, with these two, at the moment, you can be able to list your company, you can be able to get capital. And we call them capital markets basically because this is where companies come to get capital from the public. And you're looking at companies getting capital at a very affordable or even a cheap price, because if you there are several ways of course raising capital. You can get a loan, you can be able to maybe get a grant, but all these are not as direct and simple as listing, because listing simply means you give away part of the company, people buy into the company, then you get money. That is capital for you to grow and expand and make sure you add value to your shareholders. Those people who have bought shares within the company are now becoming shareholders, and so you must be able to add value to them and make sure they stay and stick to your company as investors. So those are the brief two investment segments. And this company, the Uganda Securities Exchange, was incorporated in 1997 and has been trading securities since then up to date right now as we speak. And definitely there are partners here giving us information that we share with you to be able to teach you, to be able to kind of enlighten you on how the exchange really works. And for you and me as a shareholder, as an investor, as a future investor for that matter, definitely they are welcoming you. All you need to do is open yourself a Securities Central Depository account. This Securities Central Depository account will be used to keep or to hold your securities. I've not talked about the other segment. There's a fixed income segment where we're looking at the debt instruments like the treasury bonds and the treasury bills. All these still come in handy as for you, a shareholder, and as someone who wants to invest. You can diversify and also buy some of those instruments. These are instruments where we are lending to government, we are lending to corporate bodies for the case of corporate bonds, and these bodies, that is government and the corporate bodies, bring back our money with interest and with, of course, particular periods of time, or what are called the maturity periods. And these are definitely what you should be looking out for as well on the Uganda Securities Exchange for that matter. That was a little brief for our, of course, new viewers and those who would want to know more. You can visit our website at www.smart24tv.com and you can learn more about us and what financial markets really are all about. We're going to go into a very quick breather. When we return, we'll look at the deeper stock analysis of the Uganda Securities Exchange, as of course per the performance of yesterday. Surprisingly, yes, the all-share index went down significantly, and also we are performing poorly on the year-to-date performance. More of that to come after a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.